Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was only the sky. It was a very big sky, stretching on and on with no end in sight. It was a beautiful sky, full of soft, fluffy clouds that drifted and floated all day long. But this sky was also very empty and very quiet. There were no people to laugh, no dogs to bark, and no birds to sing their happy songs. The sky was full of endless possibilities, like a giant empty page in a storybook, just waiting for wonderful words and pictures to appear. It held all the colors and all the dreams, just waiting for the right moment to begin its magical transformation. The clouds in this great big sky were not just ordinary clouds. They were special magical clouds that could feel and think. They felt a little bit lonely in their vast, silent world. They would huddle together, whispering secrets of what could be. Sometimes they would pretend to be other things. One cloud might puff itself up to look like a giant white castle, while another would stretch out long and thin like a sleepy snake. They were practicing, you see. They were getting ready for the most amazing show the universe had ever seen. The sky was dreaming a big dream, a dream of a world filled with wonder and noise and life. One day, the sky decided it was time. No more emptiness, it seemed to say with a gentle sigh that moved through the clouds. A little bit of the sky, a tiny piece of a soft white cloud, decided to become something new. It began to spin and swirl, gathering more and more cloud stuff around it. It pulled in the blue from the daytime and the dark sparkle from the nighttime. It was a slow and careful dance, a magical recipe being mixed by an invisible hand. This was the very first step, the beginning of everything. The lonely quiet was about to be filled with the most incredible magic. The sky hummed a soft, low tune as it worked its magic. It wasn't a sad hum, but a happy, hopeful one. It was the sound of creation, the music of a brand new world being born. The clouds swirled faster and faster like a big pot of soup being stirred. They gathered all their courage and all their dreams for this moment. They knew that once they changed, they could never go back to being just clouds again. But they weren't scared. They were excited. They were ready to become something more, something wonderful, something alive. And so, the great transformation began, right there, in the big, beautiful, and once empty sky. From a giant spinning piece of cloud, something solid and strong began to form. The sky pushed and pulled, molding the cloud like clay. It made tall, pointy parts that reached up high, and deep, low parts that sank down low. These became the mountains, strong and silent, with peaks that tickled the rest of the sky. Then another part of the sky melted and flowed downwards. It turned into a sparkling, clear liquid that filled all the low places. This became the water, the great big oceans and the winding rivers. The sky had made a place, a home, for all the other things that were about to come into being. Next, the sky took a bright, warm piece of itself. It was the part that held the sunshine. It squeezed this part until it glowed with a brilliant light and a wonderful warmth. This became fire, a dancing, flickering flame that could warm the cold and light up the dark. Then, the sky took a deep breath. The breath itself, the gentle puff of air that moved the clouds, became its own special thing. This was the air, invisible but so important, for everything to breathe. And all around the sky wrapped a soft, protective blanket. This became the atmosphere, a cozy shield to keep the new world safe and sound from the emptiness beyond. With the land and water ready, the sky started making green and growing things. It took soft green wisps from the clouds at dawn and sprinkled them all over the land. Tiny sprouts pushed up from the ground, growing into tall trees with leafy branches that waved hello to the sky. Big, beautiful jungles appeared, full of colorful flowers that smelled sweet and lovely. The sky made soft grass to cover the fields like a green carpet. It made all the plants, from the tiniest moss on a stone to the grandest, oldest tree in the forest. The world was no longer just brown and blue. It was now bursting with vibrant green life. The sky looked at its new world and saw it was good, but it needed more. It took another piece of cloud, a very big and round piece, and shaped it carefully. This became the Earth itself, a great big ball of rock and soil, spinning gently in space. The mountains stood proudly on its surface. The ocean swished and swayed, and the jungles grew thick and lush. The sky had not just made things on the world, it had made the world itself. Every rock, every handful of soil, and every drop of water was made from the same magical sky stuff, a piece of the great big beautiful sky that had once been so empty. Now the sky was ready for the most exciting part. It took a piece of cloud that loved to swim and shaped it into something sleek and fast. It gave it shiny scales and swishy fins. This became the first fish, which splashed happily into the new water. Soon, the sky made many more. Big whales that sang deep songs, playful dolphins that leaped in the waves, and tiny colorful fish that darted through the coral. The sky even made funny-looking crabs that scuttled sideways on the ocean floor and mysterious octopuses with many waving arms. The oceans and rivers were no longer quiet. They were filled with a silent swimming ballet of life. Then the sky looked up at itself and thought, I need something to fly through me. It took a light, airy piece of cloud and gave it beautiful feathers and a sweet voice. This became the first bird. It flapped its wings and soared high, singing a thank you song to the sky it came from. The sky made eagles that circled the high mountains, little sparrows that chirped in the trees, and colorful parrots that chattered in the jungle. The air was now filled with flapping wings and cheerful melodies. The birds became the sky's messengers, carrying songs and stories from one place to another. Next, the sky turned its attention to the land. It took a strong and sturdy piece of cloud and shaped it into the first animal. Perhaps it was a great, gentle elephant with a long trunk, or a brave lion with a magnificent mane. Soon the land was full of creatures of all shapes and sizes. There were fast cheetahs that raced across the plains, clever monkeys that swung through the trees, and big cuddly bears that snoozed in cozy caves. Every animal was special, made from a different part of the sky's imagination. The world was now full of roars, squeaks, and rustles as the animals explored their new home. Finally, the sky wanted to make something truly special. It took a piece of cloud that was full of wonder, curiosity, and love. It shaped this cloud with great care, giving it 2 legs to walk upon the earth, 2 arms to build and hug, and a mind to think and dream. This became the first human. The human looked around at the mountains, the water, the plants, and all the animals with wide, wondering eyes. The sky had put a little piece of everything else inside the human: the strength of the mountains, the flow of the water, the life of the plants, and the spirit of the animals. The human looked up at the sky, the mountains, and the sea. They watched the birds fly and the fish swim. They felt the fire's warmth and the air's gentle breeze. And deep inside, the human felt a connection, a feeling of belonging. They knew, without anyone telling them, that they were part of this amazing world. The human was made from the sky just like the tall tree and the tiny fish. The lion's roar and the bird's song felt like a distant echo of their own voice. They were all different, yet they were all the same, born from the same magical, cloudy beginnings. Everything in the world was connected by an invisible string. The trees gave their fruit to the animals and humans, and their leaves gave shelter. The rivers gave water to the plants and all the creatures to drink. The animals helped spread seeds so new plants could grow. The sun, a gift from the sky's fire, gave warmth and light to everyone. It was a perfect circle, a beautiful dance where everyone helped everyone else. The world was like one big family, with the sky as its loving parent watching over everything it had made with so much care and imagination. And so, the world was no longer empty. It was full of sound, color, and movement. It was a living, breathing masterpiece. But the sky's magic was not finished. It lives on inside everything. When you look at a tall mountain, you are seeing the sky's strength. When you feel the cool water on your skin, you are feeling the sky's gentleness. When you see a bird soaring high above you, are watching a piece of the sky dance with joy. And when you look at another person, you are looking at a piece of the sky that can dream love and wonder just like you. Remember that everything from the smallest pebble to the biggest whale shares this secret. We all come from the same magical place. We are all pieces of the sky transformed into something wonderful and unique. This is why we must take care of our world and each other. We must be kind to the animals, protect the forests, and keep the waters clean, because when we take care of the world, we are taking care of a part of ourselves. We are all connected, all part of one big, beautiful story that started with an empty sky and a hopeful dream